Today I am going to be talking to you about one verse that really excited me this morning. And I have been finding that when I just focus on a verse, I get so much out of it, and it doesn't take away from doing a whole chapter and reading and studying out a whole chapter, but there is something to be said for slowing down and doing just one verse. So my name is Judith Coles, and I blog over at hisunmeasuredgrace.com, but I'm making this YouTube video for you here on YouTube. I said that already, and that's where I call it Grace Journaling with Coffee. I didn't bring my coffee today because I tend to be drinking things that are cold now that it's getting warmer. But I did this journaling art today about the verse that I did. And the verse is from Psalm 73:26, and it says, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." And we think of Psalms as being written by David, and I'd say a majority of them are. But this psalm is written by a man called Asaph, and he is from the time period of King Hezekiah. And so that just gives you a time frame. And King Hezekiah was one of the kings that loved the Lord with all his heart, and so many of them did not. So many of them did evil in the sight of the Lord. And when you're reading through Kings and First Kings and Second Kings, so often it says that they did evil in the sight of God, and they didn't take down the idols and the high places. And often, even there's quite a few that did do everything that was pleasing to the Lord. And then it says something like, but they didn't take down the high places. And that's something that we need to put in our life and translate it into what it means for us in our life. What are we not taking down? What high place do we keep up there? And that, so that it keeps us from completely and wholeheartedly following the Lord. So I told you about Asaph, and in 2 Chronicles 29:30, it is where it talks about him being in the time frame of King Hezekiah. And they sang praises with gladness, and they bowed their heads and worshiped. But when we look at the psalm, it starts out and it says, "My flesh and my heart may fail." And this is talking about a time in the psalmist's life that things weren't all going so well. And so often in our situation or circumstances, something's not going right. And like recently, my husband hit a deer and totaled his car that he commutes to for work, and he had to find a new car. And naturally, he had to find a new car because he has to get to work, and it's an hour away. So that isn't a situation, for various reasons, that was so good. He didn't get hurt, and that I'm thankful for. But a lot of times, financially, there's other logistics in it, and so you might have financial things going on in your life. You may be depressed. You may be discouraged. I've gone through times in my life where I was very depressed, and I didn't even admit that I was depressed. I was so depressed. But I had gone through so much of my life not really understanding why a woman actually feels depressed, that it was a good thing to experience that, so I understand. And when a woman tells me that she's depressed, that I take her seriously, and I know this is real to her. And you might have like a physical illness or a disease or something going on physically. There can be all kinds of things that will discourage you. Maybe it's your teenagers or your little children. Maybe you're just stressed out with the whole mothering thing. And even though you're so happy that you're a mother and you didn't lose that or forget it, it's still stressful and it's tiring, right? So those are the things that's a situation, because it says, "My flesh and my heart may fail." Then it says the word but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. So that's really important to read the rest of the verse and not get stuck on your depression or bad situation, difficult situation, that God is with you. And no matter what you're going through, God is your strength. And when you turn to him and you give him your situations in your life and you turn them over to him and allow him to live through you, that he will be your portion, not just today, forever. And that's just like so encouraging to me. And so you may have inward trials, or you may have outward trials or troubles or problems. And in whatever they are, God is there for you. And you may be failing. Your heart may feel like fainting. But God is your strength. He's the strength of your heart. And he's the rock of your heart. And there's another verse I want to read to you it's like a verse that has to do with that one or similar things. It says, I cry to you, O Lord, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. That's Psalm 142:5. And I love verses that talk about us being in the land of the living. If you're hearing me and you're watching this, you are in the land of the living. You may have trouble because you're in the land of the living and problems. But that's why God can be your rock and your portion and your strength. And one more verse and I'm done. Still, I am certain to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That's Psalm 27:13. So I just hope that you have a wonderfully blessed day. And I just want to show you this one more time so you can take a look at this so it can encourage you. Do you do journaling art? And this is where I took part of the verse. The whole verse wouldn't have fit in here. And this, by the way, is, whoops, it's backwards. This is the my English Standard Version ESV Bible. I love it. It's like got a soft cover. I will link it below in the description box. And you can get it on Amazon. There are affiliate links when I link things. So they help support my blogging effort. And it doesn't pay off a lot, but every little bit helps. So have a wonderful day. Bye.